Aaron Orlando reporting for Revelstoke Mountaineer Magazine. Just came out of the City Council meeting, and I'm joined by City Councillor Stephen Cross, who in a surprise move has announced his resignation today. So I sought out Stephen to find out a little bit more about what's going on. What happened today? This is quite a big surprise, Stephen.
Well, I suppose it's a surprise because it's not something you advertise that you're thinking you might have to do. But for me, having exhausted myself at trying to get my fellow councillors and the mayor to understand the importance of dealing with this raises for ourselves issue in a completely above board, above reproach ethical manner, it's just not something I can continue to work with those folks who voted in favor of it. It goes against every principle I have for public service. I have specifically 4 reasons that I cited. These raises are large, 134% for mayor, 67% for councillors, in a budget year where our city has a $500,000 revenue hole to deal with and our roads are a mess. To me, this is a choice of self-interest over mission of service to our community. Approving these large raises without any third-party research, vetting, or reporting as to need, norms, and recommendations is a choice to forego transparency and to erode public trust in how we work and make decisions. And approving these raises with a ratio of close to 3 to 1 without that vetting and reporting and research. Such a large pay gap does not foster a positive sense of community, and I don't think it's the right leadership model for our town. And approving these raises, most importantly, approving these raises right away to phase in. They are phasing, not blumping, but approving them right away rather than making them effective only for the next council is clearly a choice of self-interest over stewardship as a priority.
Okay, now you tabled a motion today, which was essentially, and you're going to have to clarify for me, because again, it was a bit of a surprise. You wanted to push off the raises. You raised a number one of issues. Now that was defeated. Right. Both yourself and Councillor Brooks Hill voted to support deferring it.
No, actually, I'll recap. My motion, Councillor Brooks Hill, in a previous meeting that I was away for due to the passing of my mother-in-law, Councillor Brooks Hill previously had tabled a motion to change the ratio to 50 to 25, 2 to 1, which has been the historical norm. That was defeated. Councillor Ryan supported him.
Motion too.
And he had a second motion then to defer the raises to the next term. And that was also defeated with Councillor Ryan supporting him. So it was 4 to 2 with me absent. Today I took another stab at it, and my motion was to take the raises out of our budget completely and put that money towards a badly underfunded paving and infrastructure fund. And would it solve the problem in those funds? No, but it is a symbolic act of mission of service to put that money, which would be significant over the 3 years. By the end of the 3-year phasing in, the increases are rather large. They're rather large. So I just, and again, Councillor Brooks Hill supported that. Councillor Ryan was absent. The other 4 people, including our mayor, voted against my motion. So the raises stand, and on that basis, based on my own sense of personal ethics, I could not continue to work with this council.
Okay, so I have a question though, Stephen. Council remuneration is low. It could stand to have a raise. Absolutely. And in terms of the bigger infrastructure issues, budget issues we're dealing with, it is a fairly small drop in the bucket. And there's a whole load of other arguments for a council raise, such as attracting diversity or living wage or all those kinds of things. And why make the decision on this particular point, given its context within larger financial issues? What specifically is driving this?
Well, specifically, it's a sense of principle. You're absolutely right, and I have always supported raises for council, but there's a way to do that that gives the public faith that we're just not making it up. And the correct way to do that is to go to a third-party review with a report back to council that council can debate, and then council could make any decision it wants to. But most importantly, we should not be taking this money ourselves in this term. We were elected knowing what the pay was. We all said we were in for the mission of service. None of us talked in our election platforms about raising pay. We should be doing this for the future so that more people are motivated to run for office. I believe in that. I think it's very important. But it should be effective for the next council, not for this sitting council. Because by doing that, we are in fact feathering our own nest. And at the expense, however small, at the expense of other needed priorities. And another point on that is The ratio. We should be talking about that, because when you have such a big pay gap, and if the mission is to make it possible for other people to run, we should be doing a living wage for councillors and a much lower wage for mayor. Like something like 60-40 would be my own personal choice, which is a huge increase for councillors. But if the mission is to make it possible for anybody in our society to run for council and become active in civic politics, so we have those voices, that's what we should be doing. Mm-hmm. My primary reason, to answer your question, it's straight a principle of ethics. I can't personally continue to work with people who do not see the importance or understand the importance of doing this in a correct way. I told all my fellow councillors, we can have this done. We can do the raises that are needed. We can create a better future for people running, but we need to do it in the right way and not just charge it ahead, because it's just not the right way to do it.
Okay. So Councillor Stephen Cross, in a surprise announcement today, tenders his resignation at the City Council table. If you're one of our YouTube followers, we will be publishing a story in conjunction with this on revelsstoke where we can get you a few more facts and details and a bit background on the story. Stephen, thanks for talking to me.